Hope you all been well and had an amazing week and weekend. Apologies, I didn't upload Smart Money Sundays previous week. I've been very busy as there was election uh, um, coming up. Yeah, I just want to jump right into it because there is quite a bit I need to cover. So DXY as always. I'm gonna be start carrying on from previous week. So if you haven't watched it, previous week's analysis, I recommend you go watch it. But I'm gonna cover what I was basically anticipating if you haven't. But basically, let's push down on the lower time frames. Okay, push down on the four. Okay, so basically, what I was anticipating in terms of BTC was a sort of bearish reaction from 104. We ended up sort of front running that level, right? We had liquidity, price took out that liquidity before pushing down, right? Got that bearish reaction I was sort of looking for. Didn't come back to the level I was initially looking for, but sort of took out this previous low before sort of reverting higher. And this is basically where the election and night happened. Basically, Wednesday the 6th is when the news came out of Trump basically winning the election, and obviously the market saw a lot of strength in that. So basically, what I'm anticipating here now. Okay, so if I move this to the left, right, we have a gap here, a very clear gap, right, that I'm expecting to come and get filled on DXY. But price is sort of in that resistance level now, right, which previously front ran. Okay, so price is in this current level. So what I'm basically anticipating this week is one or two scenarios. Scenario one is we either come above, take up previous highs, and then push back down where we have a failed breakout. In this scenario, I'll be looking to take shorts to come and target this gap, right, in the coming week. Okay, so expect Monday to set some trap, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, want to see this failed break scenario to come and fill in this gap. This is my main setup coming into the new week. Okay, main target to fulfill those DXY shorts is 103.46. Okay, now the second scenario is we sort of just instead of coming out taking those highs, we sort of just consolidate, potentially wick out this high stays intact, and then we sort of start pushing down. Okay, in this scenario, what I want to be looking for is a break above this key high here, and then a break down below. That's where I'll be looking for momentum on the low time frame, on the dollar, to essentially see weakness to come and target shorts into 103.6 region. Right, very simple. But one of those two scenarios is what I'm looking for. EU. Now, right, if you recall, again, recommend you go watch it. You'll see a lot of these ideas did actually pan out. Right, let's look to the left. So, was in this short where I was basically anticipating price to come into this level. Got that initial reaction. Price tapped it one more time. This is where I had a entry set. Price pushed down. I had TP at the lows. It didn't quite take the low, but it did take the internal low where I took partial profits before reverting to the upside. Okay. Now I did have a bullish bias, but I was initially looking for this low to come and get swiped, but price or the market front ran that. Okay, ending in coming to the end of October, sort of PA gets a bit tricky. But in terms of high time frames, what we've essentially seen is price coming to this key level, right? This red level I had mapped out on a higher time frame, and rejected that due to that dollar strength of Trump winning the election. Okay, now I was looking for shorts previous week, mainly because if you look to the left, I'll highlight it here, we had a gap. So I was looking for shorts, but because it was election night, I was already in other positions, so I don't want to be too aggressively risk on, okay? Because it was risky due to the high fundamental factor, news factor. Okay, so but as you can see, right, price sort of was distributing, came into that key level, and then had that aggressive push and filling in this gap to the left. Okay, so what I'm basically anticipating is a this week. Okay, which I'm not gonna get too far ahead, but in terms of this week, what I'm anticipating, again, simple idea, right? Ideally, want to see this low to get swiped on EU, right? Want to see a play back into 106.8, right? See this key level hold to look to long First target is 108, and then second target will be let me map out here, right? This sort of this imbalance here. So second target will be 108.57. Okay, so right, so this will be my sort of second target. First target, second target. But this is sort of the idea I have, right? I ideally want to see a wick out of this previous low, right? I'll map out like this, and then a reversion back below. Look for order flow, lower time frame confirmations, to look for a reversion play to come and fill in all these inefficiencies to the left. Okay, first target should clearly be this high here. Okay, so that's EU sort of setup. If I push on to USD CHF, right, this sort of actually played out quite nicely. Let me go on the high time frame. Again, please do watch the previous week's video. Sorry, the last video, which I sent out 2 weeks ago. But this was sort of the high idea I was looking for longs into. Price sort of front ran my area just by a few pips, which was a bit annoying. But the idea was still true, right? Price came down in with slow momentum before seeing that reversion to come in and take out this high. Now, sort of what I'm anticipating this week. Let's push on the 4 hour. Sort of what I'm anticipating, again, similar idea to the dollar play. Okay, want to see a push of these highs, okay, coming to Monday, push up above. Want to see a failed breakout, so a push back down below these highs, slow momentum, right, showing prices having clear acceptance to then short this fucker back down. Okay, now where I'm looking to basically again target shorts is sort of this level here. Okay, I'm looking to target shorts in ideally into first target would be this low 0.87, and then second target will ideally be here, right, during the midsection of this imbalance level here. So 1, 2. So ideally want to be looking for some sort of short plays into this level, okay, and look for something like this. Again, depending on how price action develops, want to ideally see a failed breakout for this short scenario to actually come into play. But you sort of see the idea, okay, of what I'm anticipating in this coming week. Okay, push above, price fails to break up higher, and then we see a mean reversion back to the downside. And usually you see this when you have high time frame liquidity, right, like this, get taken, right. You usually see a sort of a retracement before we actually start trending higher. Okay, so that's sort of the idea I'm currently looking at for USD CHF. Now let's push on to gold now. Right, gold actually played out beautifully. Okay, I'm gonna start with what I mentioned last week. Previous video, 2 weeks ago. Right, three taps. I was looking for a push down into this key level, which we got for longs to target the highs. We got that, and then what we basically saw was price failed to break, which is also a short scenario I mentioned, where price pushes back down, right, and then we sort of had this slow momentum. Let me push on the 1 hour. We sort of had this slow momentum, right, showing that buys are slowing down before a reversion push down, and then this level holds before you see that basically big push down, right. A lot of sell opportunities last week on gold. Okay, very, very clean. And again, something I highlighted in the previous Smart Money Sunday. So currently what I'm looking for is prices now into a previous range. Okay, so I am more likely to look for longs from this level. Okay, it's just smarter play. Now what I'm currently looking for, let's push on the 1 hour, right, because we're in this key level, right, ideally I want to be looking for longs from this level 2668. Okay, so what I want to see too long is price sort of just have this slow momentum, okay, before sort of pushing down into this 2668 level, okay, and then sort of hold this level, right. We sort of again have a reversion. Price fails to break lower, pushes back into this previous sort of range, okay. Then I'd look for longs from this level. First target is 2709, and then second target is going to be this level here, okay, 2723. Okay, it's just easier to call out these moves on the lower time frame rather focusing too heavy on the higher time frame, because it gives us gives you guys to be able to see week in, week out what sort of setups I look to play on the lower time frames, okay? But this scenario, 26,680 obviously needs to hold. Ideally, slow momentum, reversion back, acceptance back into the range, long into range, range high. Second target is the extended target, okay, of filling in higher time frame inefficiencies, okay? Simple. Now let's push on to BTC. Now BTC is where a lot of my focus has been in the previous weeks, okay? And now this was a main zone I had mapped out for members, where it was a bull trap zone I was looking for. When price came into it, we did sort of see a sort of fake out, price push down, right? We sort of had this slow momentum. Now, I missed the long on BTC, but I did catch a few alt longs with the team. But currently, what you're seeing, what we saw was that slow momentum, right? Price holds this low, which was very important before we saw that expansion to the upside. Okay, now if I get rid of all this, right, what I'm currently anticipating now, similar with gold, I've mentioned this a few times, is when price goes into sort of price discovery, okay, it usually doesn't like to give any deep pullbacks. So what it likes to do is sort of range and sort of push higher and higher, okay? It doesn't really like to give any like shallow pullbacks, but this is crypto, so it is a little different. But just in terms of asset classes, this is how price likes to move when an asset is in price discovery. It usually likes to front run a lot of people. Saying that, this is sort of what I'm anticipating on BTC. Now the two levels I'm sort of looking, okay, at too long is right this level here. First level is this, second level is into this key level here. Now what I'm sort of looking for on BTC, right, is expect to see some sort of, right, if we start seeing some weakness right here where price sort of pushes back down below 75k and we sort of start ranging here again, expect to see a short-term flush, okay, ideally into 73k, and then sort of where we range, potentially wick down even a little lower, okay. This is the sort of the scenario I want to long. Okay, I want to look for price to hold down, a flush, and a sort of long into new highs, ideally targeting, let me map it out here, sort of 84k level, okay, sort of where I'd be looking for if we see this sort of scenario. But again, given that price doesn't always like to give those sort of mean flushes, okay, what you can also anticipate is sort of price to sort of range here, maybe wick down, take out this low, okay, before sort of reverting back and then sort of carrying on with its trend, okay. I anticipate something like this as well. So if this low gets swiped and we sort of see price push back up, and I'd ideally be identifying ranges on the lower time frame to look to long on lower time frame range lows, ideally, okay, to target 84k. That's sort of my current target to how to play this. But those are the main two scenarios I see playing out for BTC. All right, let's push on to ETH. Now, again, if you recall, right, I was bearish from this level here. I was expecting to see a bearish reaction, which we did get. We got that bearish reaction. But what ended up happening, which why I got bullish on alts, is when this low was swiped, right, because I was ideally looking for price to come in to fill in 2200 because there is a CME gap here, all right, which will likely just get filled in the future, but not now, okay, because momentum will tell us otherwise. But currently, what I saw was when we saw this sort of, let me map out like this. When we saw this low get taken, what we saw was slow momentum, right, into that level of flush, and then price sort of accept back inside this range, okay, and then that's what sort of made me get bullish to long into range highs, and then had sort of runners right into swing range highs, which is 3300, okay, and I'm sort of anticipating that level to come and get hit, okay. So 33 is the main key level I'm currently looking at for Ethereum. Okay, now let me get rid of all this. Right, let me push on the higher time frame. Right, so we can still get a push into 22, but I don't think we're going to see that yet. But I am anticipating some sort of weakness. Okay, so once we push into 33, I will be looking for some sort of shorts, right? Mainly just to expect some sort of retracement, either into previous range highs, sort of a retest bid, before we start testing previous highs on ETH. Okay, or sort of a scenario where, right, we see some sort of range occur, right, where we just sort of range here, right? People get more bearish here, thinking price is going to, come down lower before going higher, and then we sort of just front run everyone before basically pushing up higher to target range high. So that is one of the two scenarios. Either way, it's sort of anticipating some sort of weakness around this level. So lower time frame wise, this is a good level to look for weakness to short. Okay, on ETH is the $3,300 level. So that's sort of where I'm keeping my eye on, and expecting to see some sort of ETH weakness before starting to aggressively long again. Okay, to target range highs. But that's sort of the idea I have coming into this week after the elections. We finally starting to see a lot of volume in the market now. Again, it's Q4, so there is some of the best trading conditions out of the year. So this is the time to focus, okay, on the charts and have a good outline for the coming week. So with all that said and done, hope you guys saw value from this video, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.